Shalom. We are coming to the end now of the book of Bereshit, the book of Genesis. And one of the interesting parts of the Torah is that this first book, after dealing with the creation of mankind, civilization, and so forth, the Jewish people, the Hebrews at that time, were treated as a tribe. Abraham, Yitzchak, Isaac, Yaakov, Jacob, their wives, their children. It was a tribal situation, and 70 of those people from the tribe came to Egypt. And it's at the end of that period, before the Egyptian slavery began, the Egyptian exile, if you will, it's at the end of that book, and Shemot, the book of Exodus, begins where we are transferred from a tribe to an actual nation. In fact, Egypt is looked upon as the womb in the travail in which the Jewish people were formed from a tribe into a people, into a nation. But as we come to the end of the book of Bereshit of Genesis, I wanted to just go over the personality of one person who could really be left very much at risk as to what he did or did not do. And I refer to that of Yosef, of Joseph. We know that Joseph had a great deal of trouble with his brothers. We know he was the beloved son of Jacob, which caused the anger, the envy, and ultimately the hatred of his brothers. And we also read how he was first sold into slavery, and then by interpreting the dreams of Pharaoh, he was raised to be the very viceroy of Egypt. And the point I want to make is that while Joseph kept his heritage far away from his father, from his family, nevertheless, there is something that was amiss. And that is, he knew that his beloved father was pining for him. In fact, the Torah teaches us that his father was never comforted for the death. There was no closure, because somehow his father Jacob felt that Joseph was really still alive. Now, while Joseph was a slave, and certainly while he was a prisoner, first in Potiphar's house, then a prisoner, it's understandable that there was no way he could make contact with his father, who was so bereaved. There was no email, no telephones. He just couldn't do the things that we do today. But the question really comes up, once he became viceroy of Egypt, and it may be a 2-day walk, leisurely almost, from Egypt to Canaan, to Israel, to say, Dad, Abba, I'm still alive, I'm okay. And he didn't do it. And there's so many reasons given for this, and I find them to be most unsatisfactory. But the reason which I finally found was in Ramban, Nachmanides. And it was a powerful, logical reason. When the brothers appeared to Joseph, he was at first very cruel to them. He was very angry at them. And it says, Vayizkor es chalomosov, he remembered his dreams. You see, it's my opinion, based, of course, on what the Ramban says. And the Ramban says, even if he wanted to be a little mean to his brothers and sort of stick it to them for what they did to him, what about his father? What did his father do? Well, what a terrible thing not to rush over and tell his father that he's all right. Send some messengers. But when he remembered his dreams, he knew he could not take any actions unilaterally until those dreams had become reality. Because Yosef purely believed that those dreams were a message by God